I'm writing this because I have no idea how else to keep my head straight. I read here a lot, never thought I'd post. 6 years together, 2 D days. Most recent one was almost 4 months ago. We did 6 months of couples therapy, and the therapist said we had completed the program. We were told to keep using the tools. I nodded. She cried. We went out for pancakes after the last session, like it was a graduation. I carried a certificate of nothing in my head and tried to force it to mean something. Quick history. We met in 2019 at a friend's game night. I do IT for a hospital. She works in marketing for a fitness brand. I'm steady, boring, not a partier, family on Sundays, gym 3 days a week at 6 a.m., deadlifts and machines. She is social, loud in groups, funny, lots of friends from everywhere. Group chats, brunches, charity 5Ks, the whole scene. We moved in together after a year because her lease ended and my roommate moved to Denver. Rent was cheaper, splitting my place, so it made sense. First 2 years were good. Travel to see her family in March and mine in December. Friday date nights. Plenty of eating out and one car because we live near the train. First D-Day was August 2021. She went to an off-site with her team. 2 nights at a hotel in the city. She texted she was going to bed early because early start. I believed her. At 2 a.m., I woke up because my phone lit up. Her friend sent me a DM on Instagram asking if she was home yet. I said she was at a hotel. The friend said never mind and deleted it, but it sat in my notifications. I asked in the morning, and she said it was nothing. Gut kicked in. I checked our cell bill when it posted. There was a number I didn't recognize around midnight for 20 minutes. I called it. A guy answered. He hung up. When she got home, she said it was a coworker, and he had a family emergency, and she walked him back to the hotel, and then they split an Uber. Later, she admitted there was a ONS. Her language was, it just happened. Drinks, she felt invisible to me. She never did anything like that. She hated herself. She needed me to understand it was meaningless. She cried until she threw up. I didn't leave. I told myself it was one night and we could fix it. We did individual therapy for 3 months, couples for 2. We set rules, no after-hours drinks with colleagues, share locations, check in by 10 p.m. on work trips. She deleted a bunch of social media for a while. I held my breath and let the clock move. Second D-Day was October 2024. Not a hotel this time. Emotional affair that started as a reconnection with an ex she said she hated. I found out on a walk. We do evening walks around a loop near our place. 1 hour, 3 miles, same path. She told me she missed him. Just like that. We had been talking about her work stress, and then out of nowhere she said she missed him. I stopped on the path like I got hit in the chest. She said it didn't mean anything, and I was making a mountain out of a molehill. I asked why she would miss someone she supposedly blocked. She said she was sharing a feeling. 30 minutes later at home, I asked to see her phone. She gave it to me and sat with her arms crossed. There was nothing obvious. I checked her laptop. Nothing. I checked the iPad we use for streaming. I found a hidden folder in notes with pasted messages from a burner email and screenshots of Google Chat. She had kept them to read later. I learned the ex worked 3 floors up in the same building for a different company, and they met for coffee on Tuesdays and Thursdays for about 4 months. They wrote, I miss yous. I wish you were here's. It was full of they don't understand me, and you always saw me. The last in-person meeting was 2 weeks earlier when they sat in his car for an hour and talked and held hands. She said there wasn't sex. She said she didn't cross that line. I told her there was no line left. She cried a lot. She apologized a lot, but the apologies always had a but. But I felt alone. But you work late. But I didn't think you loved me like before. She framed it as her mental health diving and needing connection and me being checked out. I wasn't perfect. I was numb after the first D-Day. I was polite and quiet and careful. It was like living with a glass of water on a full laptop. I didn't want to tip anything. I told my closest friends and my manager because my productivity dipped for a while, and I needed personal time for therapy and to meet with lawyers. It's embarrassing. My buddies were split. Half said I should have left after the hotel. Half said, try to make it work because 6 years is a lot and people make mistakes. 3 days after that October walk, I asked her again why. I asked if it was because she wanted to. She said yes. Not proud, yes. Not cruel, yes. Just yes. I wrote that down in a note on my phone because it was the only honest thing in months. It freed me from thinking about what the ex had that I didn't. It freed me from blaming alcohol or stress or a hole in her soul. She wanted to. People do things because they want to. Then they explain it later. That was the clearest thought I had in a long time. We live in a one-bedroom. Lease up in January. I have a new place on hold with a friend if I choose to go. She says she wants to fight for us, but she also says she is exhausted and needs breaks from the topic and wants me to tell fewer people because she is ashamed. She says the shame is killing her. I listen, and then I hear the part where I am supposed to carry her shame with my silence. I don't want to. I'm telling as many people I want to. She can deal with the shame. Update 1, and I moved to the couch after New Year's. I was crashing on friends' couches anyway and barely living with her. I packed a duffel and said I needed my own sleep. She cried for a bit and then asked if I would at least cuddle on weekends. That sentence tells you everything. We set a schedule for the apartment. I took Tuesday and Thursday evenings to be out of the house so she could watch her shows and FaceTime her friends without me around. She took Monday and Wednesday for the gym and yoga and catching up on work calls. We did Friday dinners together with rules. No affair talk, no money talk. We made it 4 Fridays. On the 5th, she told me she had bumped into the ex in the lobby and they chatted and she felt closure. I asked why she was telling me this. She said she didn't want us to have secrets. I asked if she told him we were working it out. She said she told him we were in therapy and it was complicated and she wished him well. I told my parents. They were calm. My dad said if I left, he wouldn't think less of me. My mom said if I stayed, she wouldn't think less of me. It is weird how much I needed to hear that. Update 2, I signed a lease for a studio in a building 3 blocks away. Move-in is February 1st. I told her last week. She went quiet, then angry, then sad, then practical. She asked about furniture. She asked if we could take one last trip to reset. I said no. She cried and asked if we could at least do one more therapy session so she could get closure. I said she could book one for herself. She asked if we could try a poly situation because she had read something about how it can help betrayed partners rewire and feel in control. She framed it as a way to heal my sexual confidence. I asked if she was serious. She said she was brainstorming options and trying to be open-minded. I said, I'm not brainstorming my life away. Here is another thing that happened. She messaged my sister and told her I was shutting down and she was worried about me. She told my sister she was scared I was isolating and that she was doing her best to support me, but I was cold and detached. My sister sent me screenshots. I called her out and she said she was just asking for help because she felt alone. She still has moments of real-sounding remorse. Last Sunday, she said she would always regret what she did, and she knows she broke something in me that won't heal. Then she asked if I could write her a letter before I go, because she needs to hold something that proves I fought for us. I told her the proof is 6 years of groceries and walks and rent, and all the nights I chose home. She didn't like that answer. Final update, I moved out today. The studio is small. She texted me an hour later and said she respected my choice and loved me and hoped we could be friends someday. She added a long message about her plan to focus on herself and heal and keep working with her therapist, and maybe someday we could come back together stronger. I read it and didn't reply. I archived the thread. I blocked her on social media. I left our shared streaming account and made my own. I emailed the landlord to confirm the lease and inspection for her side. I sent my sister my new address. This is the conclusion. If you are in the spot where you keep asking how someone could do it after all you did for them, I don't have a theory that will make you feel better. People do things because they want to. That is the simplest frame I have found. It doesn't make the pain smaller, but it makes the path clearer.